Hey, what is going on, comic book familia? We are back. This is one of the best advanced order shows on YouTube. I can honestly say that. This show Peter and I have been doing since the beginning. It's an ongoing show on YouTube. I can honestly say that.
Yeah, it's a one we've been doing for a good while now, and it's always good fun to do, isn't it, Efren? I love this show. Mind, that was a funky intro, Efren. I like that.
I'm always, we both use Canva, and I've said this more than once, and it's a really good program to use, and it's just fun. And I always try to think of new ideas. But I like this intro, and hopefully I won't get dinged. I didn't use the Canva music anymore.
Yeah.
They always get some kind of notice from them. They say it's okay to use, but still I get, hey, this is not. But then they say it's not a strike against you. But
yeah.
Man, I don't like using them.
I mean, like I think I said to you a while ago, I checked that out because I was getting it regularly on my live shows, and it said something about the ping. You can use it on videos, but you haven't got a live show license or some rubbish. So it's like,
okay,
yeah.
But I like using the music. I said there's all kinds of other free music you can get on YouTube or anywhere else. So.
Absolutely.
But once again, this is advanced orders, and these are books that are going to be coming out in July. Peter and myself, we each pick books that have grabbed our interest, and we'll see, how they do 2 or 3 months from now.
Yeah. I do have a confession, Efren. It feels like a little while since I sent you this list of books for myself, and I can't remember anything that I've sent you.
I have to look them over too. We were supposed to do this last week, but our schedules are always so busy. We moved it over to this week, and but this is like, I love doing this show with you, Peter. So the one show I really look forward to once a month. We can what we like to do best. One of the things we like to do best is talk comics.
Yeah, absolutely, mate, absolutely. And we've got Fuzzy saying hello in the chat, Efren. We've just been talking about you, Fuzzy. Number one viewer in attendance. Absolutely, Fuzzy.
That's what we were saying, basically. Where would we be without you, Fuzzy? Thanks for showing up. So you ready to go, Peter?
Yeah, sure, good. Yeah.
All right. So these are advanced orders for July of 2024. And you're up first. Hopefully you can read this. Oh, forgot about this. I always say, shut up and take my money. This is basically me giving money away to comic books every month. But hopefully you can read this next slide. You may have to put on your glasses. Can you read that?
No, I can't read that, mate.
I just messing with you. This is the real slide. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, sure.
This is yours.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, first off, Efren, July 2024. Crikey. Yeah. Do you know when? I don't know if, as I get older, the years and the months just seem to disappear faster and faster. I can't believe it. We're at July already. Yeah. But this is Avengers versus Aliens. I mentioned this on a show a little while ago. This has got me really excited. I've been eagerly awaiting some kind of proper crossover since Marvel picked up both the Predator and the Aliens license. And I think this sounds amazing. We've got Jonathan Hickman writing it. Worries us slightly. I'm interested to know what people in the chat think, because Jonathan Hickman's work sometimes is great. Other times it's just too confusing and too highbrow for me. But I'm hoping he picks this up, and I hope this is really, really cool. So yeah, Avengers facing off against the Xenomorphs. What more could you want? This is going to be, I think, very cool, and it's a 4-part mini series. So I'm kind of hoping it doesn't say in the synopsis, but I'm kind of hoping it's an out of continuity story. Because if it's out of continuity, there's no holds barred, and we can get some people getting bumped off. If it's in continuity, you kind of know that there's no stakes to this, really, But yeah,
I would think that it's not in continuity.
I hope not. Once again, just before Fuzzy jumps in, because I'm sure he'll agree with us, what a stunning cover. But what the hell are they slapping that 20th century logo on for? It just looks awful. Yeah. It just looks so out of place. It's irritating.
Ruins it a little bit.
Yeah. Fuzzy's just saying, if this is anywhere near as good as Aliens, What If, then I'm all in. Being surprised how much I enjoyed this. Have you been reading that, Efren? The Burke?
Yep, I've been reading it, yeah.
I've been loving that. It's an interesting paced book. It's not, I would argue, it's not kind of action every issue, but the story's really engaging. I think the comedy in it's really, really good. I'm really enjoying it. It's a cool book. Fuzzy's also saying he finds Hickman okay in miniseries. He's given 12 issue and he goes off the rails. Yeah, I think that's fair, Fuzzy. I agree, bud. I agree.
This one's just 4 issues, though, right? You said?
Yeah, just four issues.
Yeah, I'm gonna be reading it. So
Yeah, me too.
hopefully, and I hope it's out of continuity. I want to see some Avengers, get impregnated, so to speak, by the
Yeah,
end. See what comes out. They have any
yeah,
more powers than normal.
yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, we've not really seen that, have we?
Yeah,
And you know that this will have no doubt a whole host of superb variant covers. I'm sure.
yeah, sure. Like I said, take my money.
Yeah, yeah,
All right, I am up next, and for some reason, when Black Widow got Venomized, I like that combination. She's a host now to a
yeah,
Venomized character. So it's been going on for over half a year now, and she was it was a crossover. She showed up on the Venom comic book, and some of the goop fell on her.
yeah.
She's become Venomized ever since, and this is a continuing series.
Okay.
This is The Widow Bite is Venomous. Natasha Romanoff, the infamous spy known as Black Widow, didn't go looking to bond with the alien symbiote, but a good spy works with all the tools available to her. And when one of the most powerful and versatile weapons in the universe lands in her lap, you take it. I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's been a good storyline so far. She's kept it, so I'm not sure how much more Marvel's going to go with it. But I really like this character so far.
So I've not read any of this, Efren. So is it the Venom symbiote, the Eddie Brock kind of version of Venom, or is it a different creature?
It's a different creature. She was on the Venom comic book. Her son, Eddie Brock's son, was on it.
Yeah, Dylan. Yeah.
And Dylan, and she got infected, so to speak.
Oh, okay.
And then she's a host now. But this Venomized character, it does have a mind of its own.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she's trying to keep it in control. But I've liked it so far. I think it fits with her character.
Sounds interesting. Fuzzy saying he started Hawkeye and Black Widow but gave up. He lost interest when the symbiote appeared. Yeah. Venom's another character that's overused, isn't he? I think everybody's got to. But if it's a good story, if the writing's good on it, I might give it a go. I have to say, Black Widow's never been one of my favorite characters. I don't know why.
Really?
But yeah, but I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go.
We always say that as long as you like to read that book. I mean, you didn't like Wolverine and Sabretooth War, and I did. So that's what makes these shows like these so good. We just have different opinions. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. You're up next.
I mean, yeah. I have to say. So, I am a fan of Fantastic Four. I'm a casual reader. I used to read it regularly, but I kind of dip in and dip out now. I've read bits of the current run, and it's all right. But it was this cover just absolutely jumped. So obviously this is a tie-in to the current Marvel Blood Hunt with the vampires. And the vampires are taken on Reed Richards. And Alex Rossard. I can't say enough about Alex Rossard. I just think that cover's amazing. I absolutely love it. With the detail and his face being kind of torn at and stretched. And that for me is a definite cover buy. I think it looks spot on. Like I say, part of the Blood Hunt tie-in, which actually is being surprisingly good. I'm really enjoying it so far. So yeah, picking this one up purely for a covey buy. Fuzzy saying, what a cover, absolutely terrifying.
Yep.
Fuzzy posted this cover on IG months ago, been waiting for it to come out.
Yeah.
Fuzzy, I think it was your post that kind of got us interested in this, to be honest. I just think it's one of the better covers, I think, for the Blood Hunt run. It looks great.
Yeah, I seen this cover too when it first came out a couple months ago, and I said, wow.
Yeah.
If you think about it, Mr. Fantastic, he's rubber, and it'd be so hard to bite into rubber, try to turn him, so to speak, into a vampire. So this is an epic looking cover by Alex Ross. I love it. I mean, just the anguish on Reed's face. He's like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Like, get me out of here.
Very cool. Very cool.
All right, I am up next. I think Fuzzy has mentioned this storyline. This is really good. I haven't read it yet, but I just like this cover. I thought it looks unique. This is Get Fury, and I think this is issue number 2 or 3. It says the Viet Cong have Nick Fury in the infamous Hanoi Hilton prison. Even a man with Frank Castle's specific skill set, which gets shown off in a brutal fashion this issue, will not be enough to get in, get Fury, and get out.
Yeah.
So I haven't read it yet, but it's coming up to my list of books to read. I haven't even read issue 1, but I heard it's been a good series so far.
Issue 1 was great. I really enjoyed issue 1. It's graphic, mind. It is graphic, but you expect that with a Garth Ennis book. I think this is a brilliant little series. So yeah, all for this one. And again, what a great cover. Really like that cover.
So I think it's a cool looking cover.
Yeah.
All right, you're up next, sir.
Oh dear, this has got us worried. Again, I have to say this is a cover by. First off, this isn't the Werewolf by Night that I recognise.
Okay.
I don't know what version of Werewolf by Night this is, but I just think that's an amazing looking cover. I loved the image of the werewolf holding the vampire skull. You cannot go wrong with werewolves fighting vampires. This is a one shot. The reason I'm saying I'm slightly worried is, as much as I am enjoying the Blood Hunt series, there've been a couple of the tie-ins that I was excited about that have just fallen flat on the backsides. Just not particularly good at all. So I'm hoping this is more than just a cover. But I'll be picking it up for the cover alone, just to be honest. I think it looks great.
For some reason, there was no synopsis on this one at all.
Yeah.
It just is explicit content.
Yeah. Werewolf versus vampires. That's all you need to know. Yeah.
All right, I'm up next. Now this, I looked at this cover and went, dang it. This is by Art Durham, Stanley Lau. I go, this is such a nice looking cover. And there's a Virgin cover to this also, but I think the NYX makes it stick out a little bit more.
Yeah, it's good.
But I'm picking this up for sure. This is NYX. This isn't a book about X-Men. This is a book about mutants living past the end of their world and into a new beginning. This is Miss Marvel embracing her mutant life in the neon streets of Lower East Side. So basically, it's going to be mutants, and it's called NYX, living in New York.
Yeah.
So this is like the new. So supposedly, there's another X-Men reboot, and they're going to start all over again, so to speak. Krakoa is gone. So they're just going to be moving on. And this is one of the books called NYX. I thought it was a cool looking cover.
Yeah, I like this one, and I'm interested to see what they do with this series. It hopefully we're going to get some good X-Men books out of this reboot. Fuzzy's just saying this is in relation to the werewolf book. Won't be buying this. The Blood Hunt tie-ins haven't done it for me. The main story's brilliant. Yeah, absolutely agree, Fuzzy. Andy saying, and we agree. Yeah, I'm the same, bud. Absolutely saying. I'm going to try all the new X titles. Definitely interested in this, though. Street level mutants appeal to me. Yeah, I'm hoping we get some good X books. I really am, but we'll see.
So going back to Blood Hunt really quick, I read the Doctor Strange tie-in. Explains what happens to him exactly. I thought it was a good read. And I read the Dracula one too.
Yeah.
So he's against all this basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I read those two. I haven't read any other ones, but I've liked those so far. Those tie-ins.
The Blood Hunt main book's really weird because you've got the normal Blood Hunt book, and then I think normally the week after you get the Red Band book, which has got different panels in. So if you read Blood Hunt 1, spoilers for anybody, Blade at the end of Blood Hunt 1 stabs Doctor Strange in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you read the Red Band book, Blade at the end literally rips him in two, and he's got his internal organs kind of spilled out and things like that.
Wow.
So it's really interesting. I kind of prefer the Red Band one, to be honest.
So I haven't read a Red Band book. So does it carry the same story, or does it just have pages at the end?
No, it's exactly the same story, but throughout the story, certain panels have been replaced with more graphic panels in nature. So, for example, in Blood Hunt issue 2, I don't know if you've read it yet, but there's a character who gets flown out of the atmosphere, and you see just kind of a panel with a red pop in the normal comic. In the Red Band book, you get exactly the same scene, but instead of the red pop, you see a close-up of the vampire kind of melting and kind of dissolving. So
and
yeah,
Red Band books come out like a week after?
I think a week after, and they cost $1 more. So they're a little bit more
Marvel
expensive.
Been doing this,
I think this is the first time they've done it, because it's strange from a kind of a selling point of view, I would have thought. Fuzzy's just saying I've only read the Red Band version. Yeah, Yeah, it's interesting that if you Google it, Efren, or whatever on YouTube and stuff, there's some good sites that are doing comparisons. So they'll show you the panels that are different side by side.
Oh,
And like I say, the main one was that Doctor Strange was ripped in half pretty much. He's you can see he's
interesting. I
kind of
gotta
his
go back
bowels
and
hanging
try
out.
to find that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. All right, you're up next.
Yeah, so this is the new big DC crossover event. I normally stay clear of crossover events, but I'm a bit of a sucker for this, I suppose. So this is Absolute Power. It's written by Mark Waid, which jumps out at us straight away because I do like Mark Waid's writing. I think he's a very, very talented guy. And basically what's happening in this one is all of the superheroes have had their powers negated or removed. So it's saying the Trinity of Evil has won. DC's epic summer event kicks off with the bang, as the contained might of Failsafe and the Brainiac Queen has at last given Amanda Waller the ability to steal the metahuman abilities of every hero and villain on the planet. As chaos erupts in the streets, a massive misinformation campaign sways public opinion to her side, and the founder of the Suicide Squad methodically targets each superhero dynasty one at a time. So basically, they're all losing the powers, and Amanda Waller's picking them off. It sounds interesting. Quite interested in that. So yeah, I thought I'd give it a go and see what happens.
I agree with you. I mean, when I saw this this book was going to come out, I thought, wow, Amanda Waller has been a thorn in the side of DC heroes for years now, and she's just a regular human being, basically.
But
she
you
has such an agenda.
Do you not think,
driven.
Efren? Because I know you when we did our favourite villains, I think you mentioned Amanda Waller. Do you not think up till now she's been, like you say, a thorn in the side, but she's always been kind of, you could understand why she was doing stuff.
Yes.
She was doing stuff for the good of the book. This feels like she's gone proper twirly mustache, proper Lex Luthor supervillain. Do you know what I mean? It feels like they've really tilted with her, and she's gone bad guy, which is interesting.
I don't know what comic book it is, but I read where she lost like most of her family. I forgot how she lost them, but
Right.
one of her children, confronted her and
Okay.
basically said, you're not doing this for us anymore.
Yeah.
This is on you.
Yeah.
She's basically lost her family because of all this.
Yeah.
She's so driven. It's something that happened to her family that died. So I guess I don't remember the issue, but I know, she's just a vendetta against superpowers. And she's a villain. She doesn't see herself as a villain.
Yeah. I agree with this with Fuzzy. He doesn't know if he can handle another big event whilst Bloodhunter's going on. I wish they would lay off on them a bit. It feels like we'll have to have at least one or two a year, if
Marvel
not more.
always does that. Marvel and DC, the one big event a year. This happens to come at the same time, I guess. But this book hasn't come out yet, so this book's not coming out for another 3 months. So by the time this book comes out, or 2 months, Bloodhunt might be over with.
I don't know how long Bloodhunt is, to be honest. I'm not sure if it's a 6-parter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I am up next, and this I don't know if I'm even going to buy this book. To
Efren,
Peter,
come on,
but
man.
I just bought it. Just a little switch, things around, So this is What If Donald Duck Became Wolverine. It may be a good read. Who knows? I just saw the cover and I thought it was hilarious, so that's why I picked it. I'm not saying don't buy this because I picked it every day, but I am going to read it. This is celebrating the 90th anniversary of Donald Duck and the 50th anniversary of Wolverine. It says, in the most unexpected mashup of our time, we travel to the near future where chaos rules as Pete Skull has turned Duckburg into a superhero-less wasteland. I can't even read the rest of this title, but I am going to read it just to see what the heck they're doing with this. So,
I have to say I quite like the cover. That is,
Yeah.
it is quite cool, quite interesting.
yeah, and that's a good idea for his claws. Make marshmallows. Real marshmallows, the claws. And that's why I picked this one. So, all right, you are up next, sir.
Ooh, yeah. So a bit of Mark Miller action. I read the recent, was it last year or the year before, run of Nightclub. So this is basically a group of friends who get turned into vampires and decide to use the vampire powers as superheroes. The first series was really strong. The characters were used in the Miller World big kind of summer event. What was it called again? Big Time, I think it was called, or something like that.
Yeah.
and a lot of them were bumped off and things like that. But the miniseries ended on a very interesting point with a bit of dissension within the team. I hadn't realised they were bringing this back, so really pleased to see in the kind of the solicitations that there's a Nightclub Volume 2 coming out. And it says, after last year's smash hit series, your favourite vampire superheroes are back. The only problem is that they've fallen out, and Sam is never going to forgive Danny for dating the girl he loves. Is he about to start his own rival vampire gang? So yeah, looking forward to this. This will be cool, I think. Fuzzy's just saying it was big game. Big game, yeah. Thanks very much, Fuzzy. Yeah. So yeah, vampires. The artwork on this is really cool. This last series was pretty strong. So yeah, I'll give this a go.
I've never read the first one, so I'll have time to catch up and read that.
Yeah.
So by the time this one comes out, yeah, and this was going to be one of my picks too, but you took it, so but that's
Yeah.
okay. You know, I am up next. I'm a sucker for X-Men books. X-Men overall. When I go to comic book conventions, I don't plan it this way, but like 90% of the books that I'm looking for are X-Men books for some reason.
Yeah.
You know, they just resonate with me more than other comic book heroes. You know, I mean, I still look for Avengers, Fantastic Four, any indie books, but I'm always asking, you know, the vendors, do you have any X-Men books?
Yeah.
I always go through them first. You know, this is a new series that's coming out from the ashes, a new beginning, X-Force, written by Jeffrey Thorne, artist Marcus Toe, cover artist Stefan Segovia. A new path forged. The world is fractured. Forge uses his powers of invention to devise the only fix, an all-new, all-different X-Force. So basically, it's another reiteration of X-Force. You're going to have Rachel Summers, Betsy Braddock, Sage, Surge, and introducing Tank. Never heard of Tank.
No, he's a new character.
All the way in the back.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you know, X-Force, I'll be buying this book. You know,
Yeah, I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go, Efren. X-Force was always one of my favourite X titles, to be honest, from back in the day. So yeah, I'll give this a go. And some interesting characters. I'm a big fan of Forge. So
yeah, me too. I
this.
really like them in the X-Men 97 series.
Yeah, it's very cool.
And you are up next, sir.
Yeah, this just jumped out at us. So this was the R.L. Stein's The Graveyard Club. So R.L. Stein, who's the guy who's famous for writing what do you call them? Goosebumps, the Goosebumps series. In the Graveyard Clubs, he's kind of his more adult version of that, I guess you'd say. This just sounded interesting. I liked the cover artwork. So this is Gravesends is as sleepy as a town can be, especially being surrounded by cemeteries, and the local kids could think of nowhere else they'd rather wreak harmless havoc. But being surrounded by graveyards comes with the pervasive reminder that there are more dead than there are living. So I think it's little ghost stories and things like that. So I'm always up for any kind of horror book. So I'll give this a try and see what I think of it.
So, I used to live in San Francisco, and up a little bit away from San Francisco, there's a city called Colma.
Right.
And it's more, it's like a cemetery city, you know.
Yeah.
They have more dead people there than, you know, people who are living there. It's just part of where people go for, you know, burial and stuff like that.
Yeah. Creepy.
It's a nice city, you know. It's always overcast there, you know, a little bit, but it's just, you know, for some reason they just have more cemeteries there than, you know, people actually living, you know. So I'll just give a little bit of information about San Francisco. Up next is me. Here we go with another X book. God, it's like, dang it, man, these X books. This is X-Men, Laura Kinney, the Wolverine. Yeah. Written by Stephanie Phillips, art by Robert Gill, cover artist by Bjorn Behrens. The bloodiest rescue mission yet. The vampires will stop at nothing in their bid for supremacy, including capturing mutants for hellacious experiments to boost their own power, but not on Laura Kinney's watch. So, you know, she just goes at it with the vampires. But this, we were saying how long Bloodhunt is going to last. And maybe going on for a while, because this book's not coming out for another 2 months.
Yeah.
You know, we'll see how long Bloodhunt, the actual, you know, the first series, you know, lasts. If it's a 12 issue or, you know, somewhere on there.
Yeah.
You know.
Looks cool. I love this character, and the thought of a kind of a Wolverine series where they're going all out against vampires is very appealing. So yeah.
So that's my pick, and you are up next, sir.
Yeah. Can't remember.
You don't remember?
This one now. I think when I was flicking through this one, the cover just jumped out at us, and I thought it looked interesting. Cover. Yeah, it sounded a little bit Game of Thronesy to me, and I like that kind of stuff. So this is iDragon 1, Fiefeldom, I don't know, of the royal family. Rosenthal, yeah, of the Rosenthal Castle lives its darkest hours surrounded by a huge army. The leader who heads it is the bastard descendant of a lost royal line, and she has returned to reclaim her throne. A long and bloody struggle of power is about to begin, and meanwhile, inside the castle, a strange carnival woman gives birth to her first child. It just sounded interesting. Like I say, the cover looked very cool. I like the kind of the shield maiden and the dragon creature on the back there. So I thought I'd give it a go. Something new to try.
I was about to say this cover looks like it would be a novel. And look how many pages is it? It's 56 pages.
Yeah, it's a big one.
It's basically $13.
Yeah.
So it is, you do have that novel feel to this, you know,
Yeah.
almost like Games of Thrones type-ish, you know.
That's right. That's what I was hoping for. Fuzzy's saying Bloodhunt in total with all the crossovers is 52 issues in total. So it's lasting a few months. I reckon the main series must be about the 6-issue run or something like that.
52 issues.
No dragon bollocks for me. Fuzzy's not a dragon fan. Yeah.
I love dragons. Anytime there's a dragon or a dinosaur in a book, I'm just like, oh my God, you know, I gotta read it. I am up next, and this is by Chip Zdarsky. It's called The Domain, the classic hero like you've never seen before. It says, when three best friends discover a crashed UFO, they also discover technology that gives them incredible abilities. But there's a catch. Only one of them can use the powers at a time. Can their friendship survive the powers' temptation? So yeah, I just love these kind of storylines, you know, just normal people just hanging out, and then they see a UFO crash, you know, and they get powers. You know, that was my dream as a teenager.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds pretty cool. Actually, I've not heard anything about that one, and I quite like Chip Zdarsky's writing. So yeah, that's an interesting one. From now, you've piqued me interest with that. I'll try that one. Sounds interesting.
We do this show because, you know, we enjoy, you know, hanging out and just talking comic books. But there are times when you pick a book that I might have missed, you know, and, you know, there's a book that you didn't even see. So yeah, you know, so hopefully this will be a good storyline. This is coming out in July, and it says in shops July 10th. Very cool. You are up, sir.
Yeah, again. So I don't know. This is good old James Tynion. This is Nice House by the Sea. So it's a sequel to Nice House by the Lake. I don't know if you finished that, Efren. That was it 12 issues in total or something?
Yeah, I finished it.
Yeah, James Tynion's interesting story about a group of people who were at a lake house and then discovered they couldn't leave the lake house, and that one of them was an alien, and a very complicated story. Started off very strong for me.
Yep.
And I got bloody confused halfway through. I didn't know what the hell was happening by the end of it, if I'm honest.
Yep.
This, I think, is a sequel to that, and it picks up. So it says, no one who was invited to the house knew Max, but she knew each and every one of them. Masters of their fields, titans of industry and knowledge, they all represent the best and brightest in humanity. So when Max whispered to each of them the truth of what they deserved to be saved from the disaster, to carry on the flame of civilization in a paradise built just for them, they all leap at the chance. Why not? So it's very similar sounding to the start of Nice House by the Lake. So I'll give it a go. I'll see what I think. If it gets too confusing, I'll jump out, because Tynion's work for me at times is absolutely on point. Other times he's too clever for us, and I don't understand what the hell's happening.
I agree 100%. When I first started reading Nice House by the Lake, I went, what a good storyline. By the end, I don't think it came out every month, and I was losing interest, and I got confused. I finished it, but I don't get this anymore.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish it wouldn't be like 12 issues long, maybe 6. You know, cut it down, you know, hold the people's attention a little bit more.
Fuzzy's just saying, for the last book, is this connected to public domain? That was Zdarsky also. I'm not sure, Fuzzy. I'm not sure. I'll have to have a look. Don't know, mate.
Don't know. And I am up next. This is called Impact Winter Even Fall. It's by Image Comics. This is written by Travis Beacham and cover artist by Simie Kizjin. Says the year is 1953. The Cold War is at its height, and intelligence operative Penelope Chambers is running an off-the-books investigation into the disappearance of female agents in Eastern Europe. When she is called to Soviet Prague for a routine drop, Penelope will come face to face with death or the possibility of everlasting life. So yeah, I mean, the title, I mean, not the title alone, but just the synopsis about it, I thought was pretty cool. And I just like these older books, not older books, but books that take place like in the 1950s or sometime that era. So different from your normal superhero book.
I'm sure Impact Winter was a title that we looked at a little while ago around, I think, the Bloodstained Teeth. I'm sure I've read the title Impact Winter before. So yeah, interesting. I wonder if this is a follow-on or something.
It after. Maybe there's. I'm not sure if it's a sequel to it. Then it doesn't say sequel.
No.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You are up.
Lost you there for a second, Efren. So this is titles. Love a bit of titles. So this is the relaunch of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue number 1 by the absolutely incredible Jason Aaron, who I think is a phenomenal writer. So the IDW run, which was about 150 issues, I believe, that's come to an end, and Jason has taken on the mantle of continuing the story on. Not sure of the detail yet. I don't know if it's a standalone kind of universe or if it's going to continue in the IDW Playhouse. I'm sure I read an article where he said that everything that has gone before is still canon. But this is a great jumping on point. We've got MJ Comics in the chat. Welcome, MJ. I'm going to sound unpopular here when I say I struggle with turtle books. So as much as I enjoy the turtle movies and cartoons and things like that, I'm not a massive fan of the comic books, and I think some of the original books are hard reads. So I'm kind of hoping that Jason Aaron's going to be the man who changes my mind and gives us a bit of passion for turtle comic books. So yeah, looking forward to getting into this. It's a first issue. It's well worth picking up.
Oh, okay. I've never read a turtle book. The only turtle book I ever read was The Last Ronin. For some reason, I just have never read them, but we'll see how this book turns out. I may pick this one up and read it just to give it a go.
Give it a shot.
So to speak.
Yeah.
I am up next, and this Hello Darkness is written by Garth Ennis, and it says horror fans rejoice in cadaverous delight because Hello Darkness is a brand new monthly anthology series featuring what Boom Studio is known for, the best in modern horror, fantasy, and mystery. Not to mention the darkest stories yet from an all-star cast of creators. Looks like this is, with a spine-tingling lineup, it's going to be more than just one writer, including Garth Ennis, Becky Cloonan, James Tynion IV, Werther Del Edra. All kinds of writers are going to be on this story, on this book. So interesting how they're going to do all this.
Some big names attached to it, but it sounds very, very interesting. So I like the sounds of that.
Yeah, don't know how long each book is going to be. It doesn't have a price on it at all that I see. It says in shops on July 24th. Yeah. It says, in addition, a deadly news, something is killing the children story unfolds in the first 6 issues.
All right.
Okay. So along with a bone-rattling new serialized tale by Garth Ennis and Becky Cloonan for the first 7. Jeez, they're really going at it for this book.
Yeah, some big names attached to that. So yeah, sounds interesting.
I think the artist on the bottom right-hand side is Jenny Frison. I'm so used to her artwork now. It looks like part of her artwork. But yeah, interesting. See how they're going to do all these artists collaborating on this one book.
Yeah.
And you are. Oh, that's me. You're done with yours, Peter.
I'm done.
You're done. So I
can sit back and relax now. I'm just going to chill. Yeah.
I am not buying this. I almost did. I almost put it on my list. It costs $150.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It says Dave Cockrum's X-Men Artist Edition. It says an Artist Edition featuring the groundbreaking and best-selling X-Men series from the late 1970s by the stellar team of Chris Claremont and Dave Cockrum. I started investigating this book a little bit. I think this book has been out for a while now because I went on Amazon and it's for sale right now.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if this is a brand new book, but I've never seen it before, and I thought it was pretty cool.
So, just before we get that, the last book you talked about, Fuzzy saying it must be a distillery book, right? I would imagine so with all of those people attached to it, Fuzzy, because they're doing a lot of work together, aren't they? In terms of this book, Efren, I don't understand what relationship they've got at the moment. Because when I look through the advanced notices and things like that, IDW quite often have this joint work with Marvel, and that surprises us that IDW's name's on an X-Men book there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I don't understand how I don't know what they've got running with that. But I think this looks interesting. I'm a big fan of oversized hardback books, artists' editions, absolute editions, and all that kind of stuff. 150 quid's a price, mind, isn't it? It's not a cheap book. But I'll probably check this out on the shelf and see what I think of it. And if it looks nice and sexy, I might pick it up, because I am a big fan of his art.
I also went on YouTube and I punched in, I looked this up, and some people have already done reviews of this book.
Okay.
And they showed the pages in there. So I go, this cannot be a new one.
Yeah.
I think they're just putting it out there again.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm not buying it. So
yeah.
I think I may have one more. Yeah. So at the very end, when we were done, Peter, I went back just to look at some more books. And I go, man, I picked this one because I was thinking of you and James specifically. It's a horror book.
Yeah.
And it's by Dark Horse. And it says it's writer James Robinson and cover artist Scott Collins. From the celebrated creators behind Starman and The Flash comes this new supernatural series about slasher, monsters, mad scientists, and the cult movie-inspired horror. A young girl named Patra wakes up with no memory of her past. All she knows is that a big knife and a horrific mask appear whenever she's in danger. All that and a deranged killer in the tradition of 1980s slasher films.
I'm liking the sound of this, Efren. I'm surprised I missed this one.
Yeah, I added this on at the last minute, basically. I went, wow. I got to put this in for Peter.
I'll be picking this one up just for a bit of a flick through, because it sounds right up my street. Sounds excellent.
Yeah. That's why I picked this last one, and that's our picks for this month, but we still have a few more segments to go.
Mm-hmm.
Comic book review. This is one book each that Peter and I choose just for a quick little review. And I believe you're up first, Peter.
I can't remember what I sent you. All right. Okay, yeah. So If You Find This, I'm Already Dead. This is by Dark Horse Comics. I think it was only 3 issues from memory. Really weird little book, this, but it entertained us throughout. So basically, this is a story of another kind of planet that our world has set up a outpost on. So we travel to this world now and then for resources and things, and we've built a giant wall around a city kind of thing. And this is a story about a group of soldiers that go to the world with a press officer, and as soon as they land there, the walls are kind of breached and the inhabitants take over and kill all the soldiers. And it's a story of the press officer kind of trying to make our way through the ins and outs of the world and learning all kinds of weird secrets along the way. So I'll not spoil it for people who haven't read it, but by the end of the book, by the end of issue 3, it's kind of turned itself on its head a little bit in terms of why they were there in the first place and why these people were sent there. There's a bonkers bit where they kind of start inhabiting giant robot kaiju kind of things and having a bit of a fight and stuff, and it was just not a book that I was expecting to enjoy as much as I did. It was different, interesting, and the art style was really cool. So 3 issues for me is perfect to keep me interest. Nice little book just to have a flick through and a bit of a read. Worth picking up in trade paperback, I think, and sitting and reading it in one go. So yeah, canny little book.
So this book is just 3 issues long. That's it.
Yeah. 3 issues and done. Yeah.
I'm gonna read it. I haven't read it yet. So yeah, I love the cover.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is cool. Yeah, I didn't even know this book was out, so I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, it's only 3 issues. So my choice, we talked about it so much. I'm just gonna show up, but I don't think we're gonna talk about it much. But we've been talking about it almost this whole show today, and it's Blood Hunt #1. Okay. What I liked about it is right from the start, they wipe out the Avengers. They're not messing around. I mean, that's what really grabbed my attention. And at the end, if you haven't read it, spoiler, basically the bad. Well, I'm not sure if he's the bad guy, but we'll see how this series ends. But I just like the beginning of it when they just jump into it really quick.
Yeah. There's some really cool scenes in this, isn't there? And I think you're right. How how this team of super vampires take down the Avengers is just, it's really, really cool to see.
Yeah.
The big reveal at the end will not spoil it, but I don't think that's right, Efren. I don't think that's our version of that character.
Me neither, but I know in tie-ins, or I believe, I'm not sure if it's in this story, in this book, but at tie-ins there's going to be a new Avengers led by Steve Rogers. I thought it's pretty cool. He's around somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just enjoyed this book. Like I said, when they
Good
wipe
fun.
out the heroes at the very beginning, I go, man, they just really jump into it.
Yeah.
Not too much reading in the plot, but I just liked it.
Fuzzy's just saying, did either you read Bear Pirate Viking Queen yet? No, mate, I've picked that one up to read, but I haven't gotten into it yet. It looks cool. Efren, just before we move on, I am getting slightly concerned. We've only got 2 more sections to talk about, and you've not mentioned Rodney Barnes yet. Are you all right? Or?
I'm all right, yeah.
You all right? You managed?
In the back of my head, I hear Fuzzy saying, don't talk about him, man. So maybe subconsciously I didn't introduce him. I didn't pick any Rodney Barnes books. I was going to ask you something really quick. And one of these comments, what does this mean? Must be a distillery book, right?
Oh, okay. So Distillery. So Distillery is a new comic publisher set up by the likes of James Tynion and I can't pronounce her name. Sorry, I butchered that. Jock, all those kind of people. And they're I haven't got one to hand to show you, but they're a big kind of square bound book. With very nice quality paper and hardstock kind of covers, but they go for, I don't know, in dollars, everyone. I'm guessing around about $12 because they're about a tenner, I think, or £8 to £10 books here. So they've been pushing out a lot of creator-owned work.
Gotcha.
Some of it has been okay. I have to say, personally, nothing's floated my boat yet. And that book you talked about before sounds very much like one of their bits of work.
Gotcha. Okay.
When you come over to Thought Bubble, a lot of the creators from Distillery come there, so you'll probably see a few of them and get a few books signed.
Yeah, I was just wondering what that meant.
Yeah.
Cool. Back to the past.
Very
I
cool.
made sure that the cover I picked wasn't one that I had picked previously. But I'm always jumping to the same covers. For some reason, my mind just, and we only do this show once a month. 30 days is a long time for me to remember stuff. So I was like, did I pick this already? But these are just covers that we just liked from past books. It could be last year, it could be 20 years ago, it could be 50, 60 years ago. But we each pick one book, and you are up first.
I mean, come on, everyone. Oh, I'm getting bounce back from where from. So yeah, this for me is just an absolute masterclass from Alex Ross. You could have picked any cover really from the Kingdom Come run. They are all beautiful, but I don't know. I'm a big fan of Superman, as you know. This cover just strikes us in terms of his literal power and the anger in this scene and the devastation. If you've not read the book, this is one of my favorite scenes in the entire thing. This is where the bomb goes off and he's just full of rage, and I just think the use of color is just stunning. Alex Ross is a master at this kind of stuff, and it's when we're doing this section, we're kind of talking about covers that jump out. They haven't necessarily got to be what your class is, your classic covers. It's just a cover that as soon as you see it, for me, my brain immediately goes to that book and that issue and that scene. And this is absolutely it. Alex Ross at his best for me. It's just a stunner.
I remember that. Well, the Fantastic Four cover with Reed getting his face bit. That's Alex Ross too.
Yeah.
There's just something about Alex Ross. I think his artwork seems more realistic. Than artists, as far as I'm concerned, but his artwork is just, man, I just stop and stare. Sometimes too with Stanley Lau, his artwork just seems different.
Yeah.
Great cover. Yeah, I finally read this book after you kept on telling me to read it. I read it like just a year ago. I was late to the party.
Fuzzy's saying no stop. We're going to do double of those next time, Fuzzy. Double, mate. And we've got Dave C here. Nice to see you, Dave. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. This is a show where Peter and we just pick advance orders, books that have grabbed our interest. But this is another segment called Back to the Past, we each pick one book that we just could be from any year, but my pick is a recent one. And when this book first came out, God, it's been over 5 years now. I just knew it was going to be a hit when I just reading the title, Something is Killing the Children. This cover, and I bought this cover. I have it. So this is issue number 3. This is Erica Slaughter, the main character, and she's just in a bath. But if you notice, the bath is full of blood, and you see all the scars on her back. And just everything that she's gone through to kill all these monsters that is killing the children, so to speak. This cover just really grabbed at me when it first came out.
That's it. And I mean this in a good way. That's a horrific cover, Efren.
Yeah.
It reminds us it's a more graphic version of that, again, famous Alex Ross image of Batman where he's got his back to you and he's got his top off and it's all scarred, and you kind of see you see the hell he's gone through. That's the same with that, I guess.
This cover really popped out at me when I first saw it. So I said, wow, what a unique cover. I mean, just tells her whole life basically, and on her back what she's been through. So that's why I picked this one. And this is a book by James Tynion. So I think cool. One more segment, and this is our read of the week, a book we're looking forward to be reading next week. And I knew Peter was going to pick this one because I picked it too. Normally we pick 2 different ones, but we just have one this week, and guess what it is? Read of the week, sorry. And guess what it is?
Come on. Had to be, Efren. Had to be. This book, I cannot tell you how excited I am to read Avengers again after all these years. This little run has been nothing short of phenomenal for me. Not just the artwork, but the story has just gripped us all the way through. Now, we've talked on this series and on other shows that we've done, and I'm interested to know people like Fuzzy's views in the chat as well. We've talked about how lucky we are at the moment. We've had some really good series. So we've had this running, we've had Beneath the Trees, obviously. We've had Something Epic, and we've had, Kill Your Darlings. All those books have been great. And I've been kind of struggling to pick a favourite. And I have to say it was between this and Beneath the Trees. Now, whilst Beneath the Trees ended very well, I don't know, it didn't give us the end I was wanting or waiting for. So this is nudging its way ahead of it a little bit. So if this lands well next week with a great kind of final issue, I think this is going to have been my read of the year so far in a complete series. I can't fault it, really. It's brilliant.
Here I go again. Alex Ross artwork is just so unique. I mean, I can just stare at this cover, at least 2 minutes. I can just stare at it for a while. And I agree. I mean, this storyline caught me completely by surprise. We always talk about how much we love indie books, because their uniqueness and freshness. I got the same feeling with this book. I can't imagine how hard it is to write stories for characters that are going over 60 years old now. Trying to come up with something new. This is, our read of the week for next week.
And I think for me, I'm a sucker for the classics and the I like the iconic characters, I guess. So I'm a massive fan of Captain America, Steve Rogers, and I'm an even bigger fan, obviously, of Thor. And I've not really felt the love towards them for a good while. Some of the comics are great, don't get us wrong, but I've always kind of felt that they've not been treated with the respect that they should be, if you know what I mean. This book gets it exactly right. Thor's dialogue is perfect. Captain America's kind of moralistic views on the world and his dialogue is perfect. So I just think Chip Zdarsky is just getting it bang on for me. I'm thoroughly enjoying this.
Quick question you can answer, Peter, if you can, and anybody who's watching the show right now. What do you think is the most important era? The Golden Age era, introduction of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Captain America, Submariner, or the Silver Age?
I mean, that's a hard one, because without the Golden Age, we wouldn't have the subsequent stuff. Do you know what I mean? I think, and I think it's hard to judge those books now based on our current familiarity with the concepts. I think back then, the creativity of creating those characters must have just been breathtaking, you know?
Yeah.
The first appearance of Batman, the first appearance of Superman. Now, to us, if someone was to produce a character very similar to that, we'll probably feel a bit old hat. Yeah, we've seen it before, we've done it before, kind of thing. But back then, it must have been kind of eye-opening, you know? So I have to say, I think without the Golden Age, we wouldn't have anything. So for me, it would have to be the Golden Age, I think.
I would have to pick the Silver Age, but I think it was more. It had more publicity by Stan Lee. Had a showman up front.
Yeah.
Not that I'm not. It's hard. Like I said, they're even, so to speak. But I just want to throw that question out there. But the Golden Age, they just. I don't think people understood how popular these characters would be. 80 plus years from now. But the Silver Age caught a certain wave, and it just kept on building from there. And that's what drew me to comic books too, reading all those Silver Age Marvel books.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a little slight edge to me for Silver Age. But yeah. I agree with you. We wouldn't probably be reading into this if it wasn't for the Golden Age.
Yeah.
So, tough choice. But I just wanted to ask that question.
Fuzzy's just saying here, he was happy to see how Beneath the Trees finished. However, he doesn't want this book to finish. He wants more. Yeah, I'm with you, Fuzzy. I think we'll get more. I think they'll end this volume of it, and we'll see more, I hope, in this universe. And I'll go back to what I've said repeatedly. This is how the MCU should go in 10 years' time. Yeah. We should get the current MCU actors doing this story for me.
Yeah. I haven't read it yet, the last issue, but I plan to. But sometimes I think it's better that they leave it like at 6 issues, because it wants the reading public, asking for more.
Yeah.
But hopefully they won't wait like 2 or 3 years for the next episode, for the next time they come around. Hopefully, we'll see.
Just speaking Beneath the Trees, just Fuzzy, I don't know if you've seen or not. I think we've talked about it before. Dexter, the series, that's very much linked, I think, to Beneath the Trees. I know, Efren, you haven't seen it yet. The serial killer story has just been announced that it's got a prequel coming, different actor in it, but set before what we saw in Dexter. So really excited for that. I think that'll be really, really cool. He wasn't around for either the Silver or the Golden Age. Yeah. And it's generational. It always changes as time goes by. Yeah, that's very true. Great pick for next week with Efren. I think we'll both. I cannot wait to read this.
Yeah. I think that's all, folks. So this show, like I said, we do it once a month, and next month it will be on Peter's channel.
Yeah.
So, Peter, you want to talk about anything that's coming up with you? You're doing a reboot of sorts.
Yeah, doing a little bit of a reboot over on Triple J Comics. For those of you that don't know, my work has slightly changed over the last few weeks, so my role has gotten a bit more challenging. So I'm kind of stuck for time a little bit. And believe it or not, I'm sure everyone will agree, pulling the slides together for all these live shows can be a bit challenging. So I've decided to take a bit of a break from the Saturday Night Live show. As much as I enjoy that and as much as I appreciate everybody's support with that, I'm not going to be doing that as a regular show. But what I will do is I'll do ad hoc shows on Saturdays now and then. We'll do bits and bobs from now and then. But it's not going to be a regular show. Monday night's going to be my primary live show night. I'm going to shift the time back so I can get home from work. So that'll start at 9 o'clock. And as ever, each Monday we'll have a different show, a different flavour. We're going to introduce a couple of new shows in that. So there's a show I'm going to be doing with another YouTuber, which is going to be all about comic books and things like that. But we're trying to work that one through at the moment. We'll do the art show now and then. The Saturday Night Live show will become a Monday once a month show, where we'll look at kind of all of the last month's comic and movie news. And we'll do a regular toy show still. And on top of that, I've got all my different shows with Efren, which we'll do Wednesdays and things like that as well. So there's still tons of content, just trying to save myself the Saturday nights a little bit. The pressure of having to pull the slides together.
If I'm not a working man anymore, I retired. If I was working, I don't think I'd have a YouTube channel, to be honest with you, Peter. We do this because comic books are a passion. But, behind the scenes, it takes a little while. We have gotten better at it. I won't say we haven't. Getting everything ready, but just getting the slides and doing all the prep work, it doesn't happen overnight, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Any more comments before we say goodbye?
Fuzzy is just saying, well done, lads, and glad I turned up. Sorry more didn't join. Yeah. Tell the spread the news. Tell the world that we're doing this show. We do it every month, either on my channel, reference channel, and it's always good fun. So yeah, always fun to watch.
Yeah, anybody who showed up, we appreciate it. You know, we do this comic books are our passion in our lives, and we just enjoy talking about it. Yeah. But until next time, everybody, be safe, take care, and go buy a comic book and read it. Bye, everybody.
Bye.